Okay, Shalom, Shalom, it's the brother Kadash giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Kadash. So the picture on your screen is just the imitation of, the American dollar, but it's just some cards that I had. And when I had these cards, I was playing spades with them, and I was looking at them, and then it hit me. It hit me. It was like, this money system that they got is what controls us. This is how they control us. Now let me give you a breakdown. So back during the times of slavery, slaves used to do work, and pretty much, the slave owners would supply them with food, the worst of food, and shelter, just pretty much enough just to keep them alive. You see what I'm saying? But now they switched the system to where it's like, we still doing work for the better of the system. It just became more broader all over American government, but we doing it for money. But the money really ain't worth shit, man. But it would take us to come together. But every time someone tries to come against the money, they eliminate them. You see what I'm saying? Now this leads me to Atlanta, where they was down there speaking in Atlanta. I think they was doing some type of chant where they was saying that Atlanta is Atlantis. Atlanta is Atlantis. They kept saying that. Pretty much saying Atlanta is the real place where Atlantis was at, because a whole bunch of black people are down there, and they're making what? They're making money. They're doing good. They're having better lives. They're passing down wealth. Black people in Atlanta, it's like Black Hollywood, they say. But they got black-owned businesses, even black banks. But the question is, do they got a black dollar, though? You see, the thing is, like, take a person like Elon Musk. Let's just say he got all his money in dollars. If he got all his money in American dollars, that means the U.S. government owns all his wealth. So you never really own the money. You're allowed to use the money. The money you got in your pocket, you don't own it. It doesn't have your face on it. It's not your property. You see what I'm saying? You're just being allowed to use it. So all the money, the U.S. money that everybody has, that belongs to the U.S. government, man. And that belongs to the Edomites. That's why, and this lesson is, this place isn't our rest, man. And this is the reason why this place is our rest. You can't just think getting money. Yes, money can make you feel better temporarily, but this place will never be our rest, because this is not our kingdom. This is not our money. You see what I'm saying? We want a place where it's what we have sovereignty, which is going to be our homeland in Israel when the Lord returns and he return us back to that land, where we have our own currency, where we have power over it. You see what I'm saying? The currency is just a way they manipulate and control the people, because you go to work, you give up all your time doing work which betters this kingdom to make this money. That's the trap, man. That's the control mechanism. But we understand, though, pursuant to the MOTB, that's Revelation chapter 13, I'm just going to quote some precepts, where they're going to take that even a step farther, where they're going to take that money and they're going to put it in you, if you know what I mean, which is going to give them even more control. I mean, look what they're doing now. I seen a star in Missouri that was saying they weren't taking green cards no more. See, they got the power that green cards will not be accepted as a form of identification. You got to have a passport, state ID. And then they did it with the airports, where now you have to have a real ID to be able to travel. And in order to get that real ID, you got to go down and show social security card, I think, birth certificate, 2 pieces of mail, on and on. So they're just tightening things up more and more and more, and making things harder on the people, and gaining even more and more control to oppress the people. Because, and you might ask yourself, like, well, why are they trying to get more control over the people? Why is this not enough? They got to get prepared to fight the Lord, man. They're trying to prepare the world and their armies to fight against the Lord. Like, these wars that you see, I'm convinced that they're working together. These aren't real wars. That's why they last forever. I'm convinced that it's just practice that we're seeing. It's scrimmages and practices that we're seeing. That's why the Lord said wars and rumors of wars in Matthew 24, but the end is not yet. The end is not yet until you see how shall I crack that them clouds open. Revelation chapter 1, because when he cracked those clouds open, that's when the end's coming, because then that's when the real war. What we seeing today is just rumors of wars. It's rumors, but it's really scrimmages. They really working together because they got rules to war. If you got rules to war, then that's like boxing. Like, you got two boxers fighting against each other. They got rules. Yes, they're competing against each other, but they're both boxers. So they're both kind of affiliated and associated together as being professional boxers. You know what I mean? They both got to get boxing license by the Nevada Commission. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. The countries, they scrimmaging, they competing together, but they not going to really destroy each other until the Lord come back, because then that's when the war going to be real. Ain't going to be no rules. It's going to be best man win fight. You see what I'm saying? Which the Lord is going to win. And that's why Esau is such in a hurry to get so much control over the people, because he has to prepare for that war in the heavens. That's Revelations chapter 12, you know, starting at verse 7. You know, he has to prepare for that war in the heavens. You know, Revelations chapter 19. You know, so yes, you need this money in order to survive, of course, to take care of your family, but you can't let this money control your soul. You know what I mean? Yahushua said, render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Because, and render unto the Lord what belongs to the Lord, which is your soul, your mind, your heart. This money don't mean shit. We was to stand up, lead this place, and not deal with the dollar, it'll collapse overnight. Just if the Israelites in Babylon was to do that. But we can't, because we let this money control us, man. We have to get smarter and work together. You know, that's what the law, statutes, and commandments is about. It's about us coming together. It's rules on how to interact with each other together. How to interact with our land, how to interact with your brother, how to interact with your wife, your children, how to interact with the Lord. That's what the law, statutes, commandments is about. But Mystery Babylon has got this spell over us pretty much of competition. So even amongst the Israelites, that's all you ever see is competition, competing. That's the ways to Babylon, man. That's still in us to this day. You know, we have to come up out of that. That's sin. You know, and live and think a whole different type of way. But like we said, it's just not gonna happen by our hand. You know what I mean? It's gonna have to be a reset, and that reset is called the second death by fire and brimstone. It has to happen, man, where there's only a remnant left, where the Lord's going to put the law, statutes, commandments in that remnant's heart. That's on Jeremiah 31, because us just doing it ourselves, it ain't got so far where it's damn near impossible. Esau got technology that looks like UFOs, man. He got technology, he could see what I'm doing right now from a satellite. You see what I'm saying? So it's just, we don't have the power, but the Lord wanted it to be that way. You see what I'm saying? The Lord didn't want us to be wicked and then give us the power to take our oppressors down so we can stay wicked. No, the Lord wanted us to come to him to get the power, because we made the covenant with the Lord. The Lord always kept his end of the bargain of that covenant. We just didn't keep our end, so we the ones to blame for it, man. It just is what it is. I know a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people want to find ways around it. You just can't find a way around it. You see what I'm saying? It's our fault that we in the situation that we in right now. We the ones that want to play this game. You see what I'm saying? We the ones that get power to their currency, the US dollar. We the one that give power to Babylon. We the one that give them power over us. We giving it to them. Because the blueprint and the answers of what we need to do has already been laid out there. We just don't want to come together and do it, you know? We don't want to unify. So with that, I'm going to say salvation to you. This is just a quick little video. Just something that was on the spirit.